Hello, everybody. Global warming skeptic here. And with the light of the racial tensions in recent days, I want to put one issue to bed right now and offer you the most conclusive proof that party ideologies did not flip. Everybody likes to say the parties flipped, the parties flipped. Democrats were the racists, but then the Republicans became the Democrats, and the Democrats became the Republicans. It's about the most stupid, barbaric explanation for party politics. This is proof. Here we have the 1932 national election map between Herbert Hoover and Franklin D. Roosevelt. Now, this map is important because it doesn't just say who won, because of course Roosevelt had overwhelming support overall in the country, but keep in mind Hoover's in the blue and Roosevelt's in the brown. Look where he gets his most ardent support. In the South. And so you're thinking, well, yeah, that proved my point, that proves my point. Well, think about this. And this is why I'm showing the 1932 election. This is the same for 1936, 1940, and 1944 as well. This was the Depression year and the critical presidency for who was going to solve the Great Depression problem and how they were going to do it. Herbert Hoover was a friend of big business. He advocated for a, I wouldn't call it a capitalist solution, but more of an avoidance of government control, also known as volunteerism, where pretty much the government just asked companies politely to carry on business as if the economy was still roaring and nothing happened. You could debate that strategy, but that's what Hoover was. He was more of the capitalist establishment, big bank, stuff that you would call conservative. Keep things as they are. Keep with the capitalism. And then you have Roosevelt, who basically is the father of modern progressivism. And look where the progressives are. Now, keep in mind, according to the party flip ideology, the South was always conservative. The North, the Union, was always liberal. Or, to use a more loose term, because liberal hasn't always existed, more open to change. That's the argument. The argument is slavery was a conservative position. And the South always supported. The South were always the racists, but yet they support FDR. Now, riddle me this. If the party switched in the 1960s when LBJ said, we just lost the South for generations, if that's when it started, then what's this? And yes, there's a million other arguments too to debunk the party switch theory. You could go back to Woodrow Wilson and his foreign policy, which was just as liberal as today's, and he was a Democrat. You can go to Coolidge. He was mega capitalist. He basically believed in staying out of private affairs. He was the If he were a Republican today, you couldn't tell the difference between him and others. There's a lot of arguments against that nonsense. But this is what proves it. And I just wanted to point that out because, again, there's a lot of less informed people who believe that everything just flipped. The reason Democrats were racist back then is because they're just today's Republicans. Not true, and you ought to use more nuance than that because it's just very easy to debunk when you're using overly simplistic logic. Thanks for listening. God bless.